Welcome to the Indie Author Showcase. I am your host, Chad Robert Morgan. We got a special event. I'm here with our good friends Josh and TT from Hal-Lore-Ween, and we are filming here at Slashers, the axe throwing and ale place here in Costa Mesa. All right. So first of all, Josh, TT, thanks for coming. I know this is a bit of a trek, but this place is totally worth it.
Phenomenal.
So tell us a little bit about your book and where can people find you?
Oh my goodness. You want to start that bad boy?
Oh, wow. Our book. Hi. Yeah, we're Josh and TT here, excited to celebrate Hal-Lore-Ween 1 and 2, and yes, 3 is coming. Where do they find these things?
So books 1 and 2 are anywhere major books are sold, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, ask your local bookstore. In fact, harass your local bookstore. Tell them why don't they have it. They're behind the 8 ball, all the other good things. But anywhere books are sold, you could reach out. You can find us also on Hal_Lore_Ween on Instagram. I think we have a TikTok circulating there somewhere, and many other places. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to find us.
When I first met you, it was at the Halfway to Halloween Festival out in Jurupa Park, and you had probably the most kick-ass booth I had ever seen in my life. Like, you went all on that. Can you tell us a little bit about how much effort that went into that?
Yeah, the booth was phenomenal, and the effort that went into it for me was almost nothing, because my lovely wife, her father is kind of the center of everything I dream of. If I dream something up, both Halloween in our front yard and or Hal-Lore-Ween, he's the mastermind, he's the carpenter, he makes everything. So we told him that we were going to do, it was our first event. We told him that we were going to do an event. He's like, well, then it has to be the best of the best. You have to have all the bells and whistles. And they just went ham on this huge, elaborate booth. And who am I to say no, right? That would be rude. So we had an amazing setup. The whole front fascia boards, the whole depth, the whole thing lit up. Jacko sitting on top. It was goal. And he built all of it himself as a fun little project.
The photo ops too. My gosh,
I was going to say, yeah.
Incredible. Love that.
Yeah, so photo ops, that was my brainchild again. I kind of feel bad because I have a thought, a dream, and he's like, all right, well, let's get to work. And he made this huge, elaborate 3D photo booth that you can actually get into. It's the whole cover of kind of book 2 with this huge Gothic-looking stone entryway with a huge Hal-Lore-Ween engraved in it, and you get to walk in, and it ended up being one of the biggest photo opportunities for the event. And it's kind of funny because all advertisements were branded right there. It was kind of the smartest thing we've ever done, but it's pretty amazing, you know?
Great.
Yeah, no, that part was brilliant. And what really worked is because it was an outdoor event, you actually had the space for that. Because I know if we did a what do you call it, like a Creep IE or something like that, your booth, you're going to be way more limited in space. But that was just the perfect thing to do for that event, and it just, all the cards just sort of fell into place for you on that one. That was just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and luckily it's kind of followed us too. Like, that was the first event that we did it with. But then later that year in November, we ended up doing the Creep It Real
Nice.
festive. And we asked them, we said, we have this awesome big photo op. Can we bring it? And they're like, sure, we'll get you a space. So we had a booth in this corner. It was actually the raddest corner ever. And Creep It Real, if you're listening, we would love that same space. Which we'll announce in a little bit that we did get accepted into the next one. But so it was this little corner booth, and then an elevated platform, almost looks like a little stage that we put our photo op on, like literally adjacent to our booth. And that became a huge photo opportunity. So far it's followed us everywhere. Definitely we got to do a little TLC on it, revamp it. But it's not going anywhere. So if you want an awesome photo in a Hal-Lore-Ween huge Gothic photo op, just come visit us at any event we do.
That's right.
And if Creep It Real is listening, I've applied 3 times. Hello.
I can speak for him.
Yeah, no, there's two main ones that I get into, and two main ones I still can't get into. I can't get into Midsummer, and I can't get into Creep It Real.
Got it.
I get into Monsterpalooza, which you should totally try. I
Okay.
think you would do well on Monsterpalooza. Creep IE is also very good. We do well on that one.
Okay.
So those are the four like really big main ones
Cornerstones
in this
yeah.
area. So right now I'm batting 500. So I'm trying to get in the other two.
Okay. Hey, there you go. 500 is a good batting average. So okay.
Speaking of marketing, because this is where I need to start taking notes from you, because
Yes, sir.
you've done some. How did you get on the KTLA morning show?
Sure, I will tell you. But I will say, listeners, tread lightly because I don't want to harass my only avenue. It was Fox, yeah. So the show that we were on
It wasn't
was
KTLA?
no,
No.
it was Good Day
Good Day
LA
LA,
Plus.
okay.
Good Day LA
Good call.
Plus.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the way we got on Good Day LA Plus was that it was actually authentic. So my lovely wife does all of our socials, does our marketing, does our merch, and she was just on a tear collecting all of these people. We were getting all these followers, and we're a fan of the show. I'm going to say again, we're a huge fan of Good Day LA Plus. That's our show. We watch it. But we noticed on Instagram that Amanda Salas followed us. So Robin, my wife, had a fangirl moment because she absolutely adores her. And then she's like, you know what? I'm going to shoot my shot. And ends up sending her a message. And like within days, we got a message back. She's like, looked at your content. You would be a really, really fun guest. And I said, name the day and time. I will move mountains to be there. Like, you tell me when. And it was funny because it was actually a while. Like, we didn't hear back for a while. So we kind of just dropped a couple nice little DMs here and there. And then she'd write back, didn't forget about you, just got to coordinate it. And then all of a sudden, we got an email from her. What do you even call it? Like the person who makes the shows and books the shows, the booker, if you will, for lack of a better term. And then, we set the day and time, and it came, it went, it was surreal. I remember having this moment on the show where I'm looking at the sides of all the girls' faces, right? Like Aroxia, Amanda, oh my gosh, all of them. And I'm looking at the sides of their faces. I'm like, hold on, I look at these girls every day face on. I'm looking at the sides of their faces. Something's not matching up here. Like, I don't know this version of them. Like, and it was like this out of body experience right before they're like, and we're live. I'm like, oh, okay, right. Let me plug in and kind of get going. So it was just a surreal experience. And then this young lady right here was my partner on it. Obviously, I know you saw it. And they gave her serious love, which made my heart warm. So you talk about your experience.
Yeah, I adored it. It was surreal. It was we got to sit in the back with the couch and we're waiting and we get cued in to do our little intro. But once we were out there, I could just tell that their energy was so positive and so sweet and just really encouraging, wanting everybody to succeed. And I loved that. So I think that was disarming. And then on top of it, when they realized that I actually had my portfolio there of my original drawings for book one. And I think at this point for book two,
It was book two, yeah.
So I had them in my portfolio, and she decided to cue everybody up and win another segment with us. So it was not intended to go as long as it did, but when she saw that they were there and wanted to give some airtime to it, it was a great way to show the actual work and just continue the conversation, both from the artistic perspective of it and from the authorship and what we're super passionate about.
Yeah, it was amazing. So it was authentic how we got on. So it wasn't like, we did A, B, and C, everyone follows suit, unfortunately. But shoot your shot. I guess the whole moral of that story is don't be afraid. And it wasn't even my shot to shoot. I said that right. Awesome. It was my wife. She shot that shot, and all kudos to her. She made it happen. So, and we were blessed. We were honored with it.
Yeah, and I think in this way too, it just comes down to a lot of like goodwill, social capital, being there, supporting people when you don't have something to pitch, being there, being excited about other people's projects, showing up and showing your interest without necessarily that kind of motive. And I think that goes a long way, especially for this crew, to be able to be in different spaces and occupy different spaces based on the relationships we build over time.
Amen. Amen.
Well, I will testify the goodwill you guys earned back at halfway to Halloween because it rained overnight and our tent became a mud puddle. And so they had to move us to a completely different part of the event. And Josh was one of the people that are just like packing stuff up, carting all of our stuff. And I mean, it took my wife and I like a couple of hours to set up initially. I think we moved everything in about 15, 20 minutes. We just, I mean,
Yeah.
and it wasn't just Josh, it was the people at the event, some of our other neighbors pitched in, but you were like definitely just like, let's get it done, let's get in there, and you were just right there.
Yeah, it was a conga line. It was just like, not a conga line, conga line.
Dun, dun,
It
dun,
was,
dun, dun,
it was,
dun, 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 dun.
it was a party, guys. Why weren't you there? No,
You made it always a party.
no, it was like a conveyor belt. It was like a, help me out here. The
Like a
assembly
fireman
line. Thank you. Yeah, there you go. From the back. And it was like an assembly line just being passed down and setting up and making sure that you were good to go. It's lost time. You know, we wanted you guys to set up, and it is, man. It's all about community. I can't speak about this myself because it would be awkward, but I think she can speak about, like, I want everybody around me to get raised up. I want everybody who comes and talks to me that at the end of the conversation, you're 1%, at least 1% better than you were before you started talking to me. So I saw a guy in need, you know, a new friend in need, and there's no way we couldn't rise to the occasion, you know?
Yeah.
Well, this was actually the whole motivation for the podcast in the first place, because I was doing WonderCon, and that is great for indie publishers because the small press tables are relatively cheap, and there was just this whole area of the convention center that was just all of us working independently, trying to sell our books across all kinds of genres. And just the thought was, instead of each of us hacking away on our own, why don't we try to work collectively?
Hacking away. Go on.
Why don't we try to work collectively? And that's the purpose of the podcast, is to bring voice to quality indie authors, which of course, Hal-Lore-Ween is definitely quality, because we did award you the second place for Book of the Year.
Much
you.
obliged.
Thank you,
More,
thank
yeah,
you.
that was such a humbling moment. We celebrated that. We got to be more verbal with how we celebrated that, but or not verbal, but more out in the open. But we all celebrated that huge. So thank you for awarding that. That's awesome.
And for the record, we gave first place to Jennifer Milne. She's racked up like 4 or 5 other awards for that book. So that was some stiff competition
For
right
sure.
there.
Absolutely.
But I did kind of gravitate more to Halloween just because it's more my wheelhouse. So I enjoyed it more, but I was like, I gotta be a little bit more objective.
Non-biased, yeah,
Not-
for sure.
Try to be non-biased, and then you're trying to be like not overly non-biased and
Yeah,
not
of course.
overcorrect. So
Of course.
but no, I thought it was really great. And I think, like, I myself, when I'm working the booths, I get a lot of kids. So what's the age range?
Yep.
And like, I started writing my young adult series because I had younger readers wanting to read these things, and I had to have an offering for them. So this is a great entry book for even the younger readers.
Yep. Intro to horror, I call it. Yep.
Yeah, it's perfect for that. And I'm looking forward to seeing book 3 when it comes out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And one thing I'll test to book 2, everybody, we had a ton of ARC readers. I think we had over 100 ARC readers for book 2, and a lot of just general reviewers and everything else. And everybody, it's not even a question. It's 100% of all of them said book 2 was exponentially better. That I'm just coming into my writing. TT blew it up like I've never seen. She was phenomenal in book 1, obviously, but book 2, I was like, what the heck? Like, how did you do that? And book 3, I'm super excited about. Is in the midst of being made too, and I know she's going to blow it up. But yeah, book 2 is exponentially better. But here's a word of warning: you don't have to. They're independent stories, but you should read book 1 before you read book 2 if you kind of want some amazing Easter eggs throughout. So
Well, I wanted to hop in here too.
Yeah,
with
do
the intro to horror is exactly what it is, and it really was my intro to horror. So I'm
Literally.
not a horror artist. I have a lot of different art styles that I like to play with and experience. And so when Josh came to me with these writings before anything had been published, not many people had eyes on it. I could read it, and there was something about it that allowed for this. Like, first of all, my mind just went bonkers with visuals. And I know that's usually my mark as an illustrator. If I'm reading a young author's work, I am looking for, am I seeing really strong shots in my mind to be able to tell this story? And if that's starting to lock, then the conversation gets more exciting. And with that too, I found that there were so many of your twists and the way that you were able to write in a way that allowed for excitement, enthusiasm, a little bit of creep factor, but did not push me over the edge when I wasn't ready, is important to me. Now, 4 years, I'm in it. I'm so in it. I'm falling in love with genre, and I have been spending this last year.
I corrupted her. Ha ha ha.
Going deeper and darker and darker and darker. So I have to say, though, it was your work that was a safe space for me to play around with this idea, and also knowing that these drawings, they might on their own be really creepy, but then when you read these stories, there's just something else, a different quality to it that transcends spook for spook's sake. And I think that's something that I really love about your work, and it doesn't necessarily fall on those tropes exactly. So book 3 too, as we've been developing and doing our think tanks, there's just more involvement. I feel like I have more of landing here to just, kind of step into the waters and feel the fun of it all.
And here's my favorite story that I will shout on every podcast, every interview possible, and she's going to punch me later for it, I'm sure. I'm just kidding. She's not violent. But when she was making, if you remember book 1, there's a poem called Mr. Wolford, right? And he's the guy creeping, like peeping through like the window, and white eyes and long white hair. She was making that illustration, and it was up because she was in the middle of making it. She said, and at night it was like staring at her, and she couldn't go to bed. She had to like cover it before she could close her eyes and actually fall asleep. She's all, nope. So her own artwork was creeping her out past the point of being able to sleep. So yeah, definitely was not into horror at all when I met her. So and it's amazing. I mean, you've seen her work, like you would never know. And even when we tell like fans that, they're like, what? Like, this is like not just like horror art. This is amazing horror art. So it's a fun story for sure.
So if you're covering the art, that tells me you're not like painting in Photoshop. You're more, tell us a little bit about your workflow. It sounds like you're more traditional, and then I guess at some point you have to transfer it to the print.
Yeah, great question. So for me, it all stems back from starting with some thumbnails to figure out some structure together that we bounce ideas off of what I think the visuals would be the strongest for, maybe a poem or the stories. Once we lock in on that, I go with hand-drawn charcoal. So I'm just all charcoal rubbing, erasing, and letting it build that way. There's really little to no digital element to it outside of scanning and getting it to print.
So absolutely no AI.
No
Zero.
AI.
Yeah.
And honestly, this is kind of a fun area where I'm noticing a lot of the horror scene really loving the authentic expression of humans interacting with that feeling spectrum and getting something out from there. So to me, having this stay in that integrity, and no hate for it, but just in this arena for me, it's really a part of my experience. And the joy of getting to be an illustrator is to be a translator for Josh's words and message. And so I think I can't untangle that part, is that it's my pleasure to get to feel through that and figure out what that's going to look like on the other end, and allow some of your visions through your words exist in visual space.
And let me jump in there too, because I feel like in our industry that word can or cannot be very taboo, right? The whole project, and when we created it, was my obsession with Halloween dumped onto a page, not like a digital version of a human's like interpretation dumped onto a page. So I was pretty adamant about no AI. That's why I have one of the best editors in the world, Lee. If you're listening, you're phenomenal. She's the one that does what AI could ever possibly do, but in a way that I don't think AI could ever touch. So like I write the stories, my editor is my rock writing wise. So it's just us, it's all people, it's all human. And then I give it to her. She's the talent, she's the real deal, Holyfield. Zero AI, and we want to very much protect that and keep it that way. Nothing against AI people. That people do amazing, mind-blowing stuff with AI. But no, we're definitely all real, all person, all human project, and always will be.
I know for us in the podcast, we've kind of gone through AI at length, not only the pros and cons, but also sort of like the ethical uses of AI.
Sure.
For me personally, I might use it to generate marketing images or stuff like that.
Sure.
Um,
Let me jump in there really quick.
Sure.
So yeah. So the project itself is AI free, but yeah, like social media, stuff like that. I mean, there's definitely a platform there for you. So let me be clear: the project itself, 100% AI free, but yeah, marketing, exactly like you were going to say, marketing and other strategies to try to get the word out there. That's another story. That's
Tell me a little bit. You're talking about all the ARC readers that you got. Tell me
yes.
about how that process went.
Sure. So it's actually funny because let me lead this whole thing by saying me getting my foot in the whole author world was so naive. It was crazy. I did a long stint younger in the music industry, and the correlation between music industry and the writing world is so, there's a lot of crossover. It's very similar all the way to like literary agents to like obviously publishers and all types of other things. But um, um, remind me of your question.
The ARC readers, like how did you find your ARC
Got
readers? How did that process go?
Yes. So, okay. So the ARC readers again was sheer naivete, and all I did was we were growing a huge presence on Instagram and social media, and we knew that the bigger the people we targeted, meaning like the more followers they have, the more influence they have, obviously the bigger net that you'd cast. So we just went around and we kind of, for lack of a better term, kind of hoard ourselves around and reached out to everybody saying, look, we're this book series. We will send you merch, we'll send you goodies, we'll send you stuff. But if you would, accept it, read it, and give us a review, reach out to everybody, just do a post about it. And we send it to a lot of people that were already following us that would like our comments, and we'd send it to, I got 100 ARC readers, we probably sent it to like 300 people, you know?
Nice.
So, and then some of the people, especially in the Halloween community, they're like, free? Like, oh my gosh, yeah, we'd love to read it for free. And so it just kind of grew from there. And then once one did it, who was influential, then other people be like, oh, I saw so-and-so post about this, I would love to like add to it. And then it kind of like created like the wave effect, you know what I mean? If you're thinking like a baseball game. But it was a lot of work, you know. We only got like maybe 2 or 3 per week, and we just kept going, you know, and just kept being relentless in who we reached out to. I made a couple enemies doing it that way too. A lot of people are like, that's not how it works, and I'm like, oh, I'm naive, okay. And then I would try to like pick their brains, be like, okay, I understand you're upset and I broke the rules, could you tell me what the rules are? How could I have approached it better? And I'm still learning, I'm still growing, and I try to throw my vulnerability and naivete out there, and they kind of, reciprocated with some nice words. Some of them. Some of them.
Well, yeah, I think you have a special skill set that I imagine many of your listeners, as well as any other illustrators or people who are out there, might be challenged by in the arts, because you do have a background in sales, and
Yep.
you've got a charisma, and you got a look at, I'm here, and guess what? I'm not going away.
For
That
better,
kind
for
of
worse,
energy.
yes.
Where I know for me, sometimes I just want to clam on up and be in my art cave, and if I'm at a booth, I want to be like, sure, my art should speak for itself. I don't want to be
Yeah.
dealing with all that stuff. You know, if you like it, take it. If you don't, leave it. And I realize watching you do this over and over and over again, being able to pause people while they walk by, have your spiel, like get in the flow with people and engage in a way that seems like a stretch sometimes, but gets traction. And so I think this is a part of it that I know a lot of us creatives are just really not about. We want to make the work, and we want to then go be alone and then make more work probably.
Yeah.
But you do bring this element of that churn, and that's what I'm really seeing of why, I've worked with many authors, many books never got off the ground, never took off post hiring me for illustrations, because people don't always have that skill set or that quality to walk it through. And so I think being able to find some role models or guidance, and starting to separate really the fact that what you create is not necessarily you. And that's a hard one to do, is unbraid the emotion around these creative undertakings for stories and for artwork. And what you're able to do with that and being able to put it out in the world and separate a little bit does mean that you can fall flat on your face. You can be rejected so many times, and not so much taking that personally, because you know you're going to get up and go meet a bunch of more no's and you're going to keep going. You pick cool people to be in your corner to talk you up when you are feeling like this is getting really heavy and really hard. And this is the thing, is that it doesn't just launch. We then have to hold it continuously without praise. So 4 years of really like being under the radar too, and 4 years of struggling, of working later nights and not seeing a lot of the accolades from it. I think at a certain point, a lot of people do want to back down and be like, see, it's not working. But when we're looking for legacy, and that's what I know Hal-Lore-Ween is really about, is a legacy work. So we want to be creating this year by year, getting better at understanding the industry, getting better at collaboration and understanding how each of us work, and knowing how we can even push the limits into new worlds and realms, because we have a sense of safety and commitment. And this is not just a flash in the pan. So it really does take a different sense of determination and discernment to keep it going. And you got to talk yourself through a lot of hard nights with it too.
I'm so pumped up right now. How do you beat that? How do you keep going after that? That was unbelievable. Yeah, so basically my version of what she just said, I'm a carny. If you come by my tent, I'm gonna call you in, right? That's what I do. Absolutely. And then, no, yeah, thank you. And the beauty of Hal-Lore-Ween is it transcends the books, right? This is book 2, guys. It transcends the books because we're building a community. We got a squad now behind us. You know what I mean? Like, I got to call them out if I could take this moment. Obviously, TT is like my ride or die. She's my partner in all this. Aldo is the cover artist. And that was, I can tell you the story about how he came into be. He wasn't even supposed to. She was my first artist. And then he took a crack at it and he killed it. I'm like, all right, I can have a cover artist and internal artist.
Yeah, Josh showed me and I was like, that's it.
Yeah, that was the
it.
face. That's the face of Jacko. He created the face of Jacko. And then, so obviously my wife is, if there was a manager, it would be her. Like, she does everything. So I can't even do her the injustice of start listing the things she does because it's all her. But now we have a new voice actor on board, which that's a huge announcement. We have a new voice actor, so we're going to be on Audible very shortly for book 1 and book 2. And he's already on board for book 3. So I'm even hoping that when book 3 is released, maybe we could do a co-release at the same time. So it's just all up there. And he is talented. So Menjivar, if he's listening, or if you guys get a chance to find him, insanely talented voice actor. He gave us some samples of the voice of Jacko, and our skin was crawling. We're like, no way, let's go. It was such a cool moment. And then, of course, Lee Freiling is my, is my editor. And then we have a couple more people we're getting on board right now, a street team, like manager, who might take over the whole street team element to really start pumping social media and everything to the next level. We are getting a squad, and these are my rider guys. Look.
We have sense now too, yo.
Yes. Oh, we do have sense. Absolutely. The collaborations that we're doing. I don't know if you saw that. We collaborated with Witchy Hollow Co. Megan, we love you. So she does skincare products. So now we have a Jacko's Midnight Mischief release line of skincare, smells, hand soaps, everything that's going to be publishing. We are trying to really weave Hal-Lore-Ween into the horror community and make it synonymous. The way I figure it is this. I love you so much, R.L. Stine, but somebody needs to take on that torch after he's done, and why the heck not me? I'm just saying. So I'm trying to carve that space in the fabric of horror for us. And that's what we're doing.
So final question.
Okay.
How awesome is this place?
Okay, so Maddie and Luke is our new besties. They're definitely going to be in the Hal-Lore-Ween circle. They're the founders of this magical place. And my confession is this, and I'll let you speak right after. My confession is I have never been here until right now. And I walked in and I told them that they better set up a cot in the back because I'm not going anywhere. This place is a horror lover's dream. I mean, And they're the geniuses that thought drinking and axe throwing would be a wonderful combo, and I couldn't agree more. They're phenomenal, amazing people right off the get-go. If you guys haven't been to Slashers, you not are only missing out on what should now be a staple in the horror community, but you're missing out on just the best time you've ever had and memories that you're don't even realize you need to have.
Yeah. Oh man, the amount of details and the art and the throwbacks and Easter eggs. I am struggling to stay focused, but I love it in here, and it's so exciting. So the other thing is, we are here where Tiny Tina got her start. I grew up in Costa Mesa for the win. Hello everyone. We are here in Orange County,
That's
and
it.
it's really fun because I grew up a block away from here, and
So-
to come back in my adulthood now, interested in slashers and definitely interested in throwing axes.
So, make a long story short, Chad, this place is more than amazing. Amazing would be an understatement. And again, a huge shout out to Maddie and Luke. Yeah.
And their league night starts in April, correct? Right. The Purge night will be probably after we air this. That's right. And then the tournament starts in April. And also in April, you have your halfway to Halloween event. Yes.
And Maddie's making a very convincing case that our next book release party should be done here. So maybe we'll meet you here, everybody.
I wanted to do my book release for Fear here, but I was too damn broke. I was really hurting for money at the time. But
I loved your release party. Your release party was halfway to Halloween.
it pretty much was, yeah.
I mean, that
was the first time
epic.
Fear hit the shelves, yeah.
That's epic. That's what I'm going to try to. Oh, and if I could plug, I don't know if I said this already, but book 3 is going to be coming out late August, early September. It's going to be even better than the other 2 books, I'm hoping. It's up to you guys. I'm so proud of the stories we wrote. And spoiler, maybe a little bit, you might find out in book 3 that many of these worlds might not be tied together in a huge universe way that will make you realize just how big this universe is. I might be trying to create like the Star Wars of like horror, but like we'll see. Maybe not. It's huge spoilers. My bad. Sorry everybody.
Yeah, Chad, I want to thank you so much too for giving us this platform and this opportunity, especially because I think isolation is another huge challenge within the creative field and within people wanting to express, not sure what's normal, what's not normal. So just really bringing up to the surface the things we struggle with, the stuff we want to learn, the more we get to be together and highlighting each other's gifts, not trying to compete in that way, I think is just really what we're also about. So I really appreciate you seeing that in us and wanting to give us a space to highlight.
Yeah, united we stand, divided we fall, right?
Exactly.
And before we end this, you wanted to ask about Barnes & Noble, which I'm also willing to.
Yes.
I'm also willing to give the keys to the kingdom if I can without burning my own bridges. Sorry, Barnes & Noble, but we are shouting you out. Okay, so you wanted to know how we got carried in Barnes & Noble, correct?
Yes.
So Barnes & Noble is I don't know if they want us to air their business, but I mean, this is the Indie Author Showcase, right?
Right.
So, so Barnes & Noble's interesting. So the easiest way to get carried in Barnes & Noble is this. When you're submitting your book on to them or through Ingram or anything, it has to be deemed returnable.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing that we've came across because we wanted to do book signings. We harassed every single Barnes & Noble in Southern California, and they were all like, okay, let's take a look into it. We're going to get your information. We're going to go back and forth. And I would say 80% of them said, well, because I'm with a very small horror publisher. They're phenomenal. I can't say enough good things, Castlebridge Media. Like, you guys are awesome. And thank you for being our rock this whole time. But they're small, so they can't do returnable. So most of them won't carry it. There was one, I won't say the exact one just so they don't get harassed, but there was one that I just walked up and I talked to one of the managers and he was cool. He was a horror guy himself. He's like, young horror, we need more of that. I'm just ordering it right now. And he just ordered it on the spot. We're like, oh. And the funny thing about that is that was the first one we went to. So I thought it'd be that easy everywhere. Nope. I can't tell you how many boots to the butt I got on the way out the door. So I was very naive after that. So they carried ours. They carried like 5 books of book 1. And then separately, we tried to get book signings because we were still carried online. Harassed every single one, and one was cool enough to do, because we weren't returnable, the books weren't in the store, we had to do like a consignment kind of thing. So we brought our own books, but we got to sign it. We got to promote that we were there. So we're not in all Barnes & Nobles, but there was a couple that we got lucky with. So I think the easiest way to do that is to know, let them know like how many. You got to go in person. You got to talk to the managers and say, I have all these books. They are returnable. I want to get them in the stores. How do we make this happen? And I think if they are returnable, that was the only reason why they said no.
That is the sole reason my books are on Ingram Spark right now.
Yeah.
I actually published my hard copies, my jacketed hard copies, I actually published through Barnes & Noble Press.
Nice.
And one of the reasons, or one of the arguments for that is if enough people order your book, and I do this in quotes because I have no idea what that magic number might entail, but they're supposed to start carrying it in the stores. It's supposed to be one of the hooks to entice you to use their thing. Apparently, buying my own copies and selling them at conventions don't count towards that total because I have never seen my books in the store.
Got it.
But yeah, I had a similar problem where I was going through Barnes & Nobles and I was talking to managers and I was going to, and finally somebody talked about it's not returnable. It's like, but they're published from you. It's your own press. I was like, yeah, but they're not returnable. And that's what started me down that Ingram Spark rabbit hole. So yeah, if you want to get into a bookseller, the best route is Ingram Spark. I don't know if the other ones do that. I don't know if Lulu does it.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, go to Ingram Spark, mark it as returnable, and then you have to set up the rules. Every once in a blue moon, like I think I've gotten 3 so far, but I'll have a book just show up at my door for some reason, and it's a return. It's for whatever reason it didn't sell at that particular store. I think it's only happened like about maybe 3 times. I think where just shows up for some reason. I didn't order this. What the hell?
Right. Yeah, I guess final thoughts for us would be, number one, we just launched our website. So if you go to Hal-Lore-Ween.com, but with the dashes, so HALL-LORE-WEEN.com, just like it's written on the book. You can check us out there. There's a lot of fun things. And then lastly, where to find us next? It looks like so far we're only doing one event this year, solidified, and that is Creep It Real in September. By then, book 3 should be out, so come get the new book. Come get a signed copy from both of us, some dual signings, meet and greets, whatever you want to do. We just like to shoot the, you know what, I don't know if this is a cuss show or not, shoot the SH blank blank. Come hang out with us. Come hang out with all the wonderful people there. And maybe we could get you in by then, who knows?
Yeah, come get some merch, and we got some signed art prints and photo ops.
I'm going to go finish fanboying with Chad right here. I absolutely love him. I love his stuff. So if if you're watching this, you already know about how amazing Chad is. So.
Well, we can't come to Slasher's axe throwing and ales without doing some axe throwing. What do you say we go kill some zombies?
Let's go throw this bad boy.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right.
Shadow stretches and night descends. Whispers creep where courage bends. Every step extracts its toll. Slipping grip, unraveling soul. Face the fear, let it take you. Don't let the terror break you. Some find strength, some will fall, but the fear will rise and try to claim us all.
Hey!
Heartbeat pounds a frantic drum. Paranoia overcome. Eyes reflect a dying light, clawing through the endless night. Face the fear, let it take you. Don't let the terror break you. Some find strength, some will fall, but the fear will rise and try to claim us all. A hungry maw, a primal war with nature's law. Few escape its choking clasp. Every breath a desperate gasp. Face the fear or let it take you. Don't let the terror break you. Some find strength, some will fall, but the fear will rise and try to claim us all.
Well, again, thank you for Slashers for having us. This has been a wonderful episode of the Indie Author Showcase. This is the first time we've done an on-site like this,
Fantastic.
and we've had a ball.
More than,
Yes.
yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I couldn't thank you enough, man. This place is amazing. You're amazing. Thank you for everything.
And you look at all the horror stuff around here, and like they got the Necronomicon. They got I've been looking at the little doll thing. I remember seeing that when I was a kid from that movie, where she got. It's like it is so rich. It's like you hopefully they didn't bring anything in with them when they got these things.
You mean like you hope this place isn't haunted?
God, I hope not.
What's going on? Ah! Whoa! Whoa! Yeah! Yeah!
Okay, time to
That's
go.
amazing.
Time to go.
I'm out of here, man.
I don't have to be the fastest. I just have to be faster than you. Okay.